Hey everybody, have you seen me now? I'm on goddamn YouTube. Oh shit. Damn it. That's what I get for being me. Alright, 15. I don't know this up here is 15 or whatever, who cares? Yeah, we're gonna be looking at cooking videos, and we might get into an actual Jake video. I'll put it to one vote and one vote only. But first, bacon carbonara from Portugal. So about roughly 1/3 of the box. So about 2 portions. Hello everyone in the chat. I almost never do this with carbonara. I almost never cook the pasta first because I just want to do everything all at once. I have not had Friendly's ice cream. I don't know what the Portuguese view as bacon, but that looks a hell of a lot closer to ham than bacon. Or Canadian bacon, as it's also called. Because there is nowhere near enough grease in that pan for it to be American bacon. Or pork belly, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I've had them. They taste like shit. Yeah, I've had the Pillsbury cookies with the little images on them. My sister got them and baked them in my oven because my little niece liked them, but I thought they tasted like shit. If you like them, cool. You know, that's just me. Well, Portugal.
All right, this is.
Well, Portugal doesn't know what the fuck bacon is. I mean, carbonara is made with a lot of fat. This is rigatoni pasta with barbecue burgers. Okay, so we have overdone pasta with overdone burgers. Fucking brilliant. like that's it. All right. Fair enough. All right, this is AB Grillin, and he's talking about spaghetti.
Hi, listen, you didn't already read the thumbnail, you didn't seen it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna show you today how to make, listen, everybody be talking to me about these spaghetti sauces and all that. I make it all kind of ways, but now I'm finna tell you and show you what I put out when I'm ready to just like take it like extremely over the top. And I'm gonna be honest with you, once you make it like this, and once you make it one time, this is probably gonna be your go-to. Okay, so look, I want you guys to see like
I
some of these ingredients right here,
I
right?
will say this. I cannot buy jarred sauce anymore. I have gotten so used to making my own spaghetti sauces, be they tomato, Alfredo, pesto, whatever. I cannot buy jarred sauces anymore. All of them taste like shit. All of them taste bland and yeah. So again, that's just me. But I cannot do a pasta sauce from a jar anymore.
And as always, listen, everything that I do, like ingredients, the amounts and everything will be down in the description box below. But I want
I have not had smoked chicken with Alabama white sauce. Would I be opposed to eating it? Hell no. In fact, it was one of the things on the list of things to do.
get hung up right here. You see this right here? These are Branch and Vine products, right? Listen, if you guys can get these, I highly suggest that you get them because these will be level up. These are infused olive oils, right? So if I turn this right here, look, this is scallion. And then right here, look, this is probably like my favorite. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, scallion, garlic, either way, got a little bit of a different profile. You guys know the difference of what they are, but I, mostly cook and use these. So you look, when I get them, I usually get 4 bottles at a time. You know what I mean? So look, this is the garlic. These right here are the level ups, right? So look, you can see I've already diced things down. Listen, I'm trying to like refine my videos where you guys ain't gotta watch me do no knife work or nothing like that. Not that I know what I'm doing anyway, but look, don't forget, down in the description box below. So now I'm gonna say,
what, salmon? Oh, I've had salmon several times. I like salmon.
hey, let's cook. Okay, so look, now we're getting ready to get into the.
But I cook salmon to about medium to medium well. I don't cook it like I cook my steak, but I do cook it to about medium well.
To the meat and potatoes, right? So look, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna start with my garlic, right? This right here, look, when you use the right ingredients, folks, this is what levels up your food. This right here would be more like high-end, restaurant, but still real affordable though, you know what I mean? So put a little oil in here, a little bit of this garlic infused. I already set this up. I'm checking my heat. I'm using like a medium flame right now, right? So now I'm finna bring some joy to myself. I'm gonna go ahead and get my press. I'm just loading it up. That's all I'm doing as my oil is coming up to temp. Okay, so listen, I can smell it and I can tell you we got some nice heat underneath the bottom, right? So now this is 2 bell peppers. I like bell pepper. You guys can tailor make it the way you like to do it, but for me, this is the way I get down. Listen, it's a whole lot of flavor, and that's what we doing, folks. Okay, so look, we're not gonna take these all the way down, right? We just give these, for me, if you guys are using like a medium low, I reduce my heat down to a medium low. Started out with
I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. The dog? Yeah, I'd be willing to try it. I'll try anything once.
medium, but you know what? I did that because now I'm getting ready to introduce my garlic, right? So now I'm gonna put a smile on my face with this right here. Hey, take a look at that right there. Just tell me, hey, listen, the sound, the whole shebang. And okay, so I got all my cans open. Now we'll just go ahead and start adding it, our tomatoes, right? I want you guys to pay attention.
No, I don't care.
I'll show you in just one second, just the cans I use. And I'll put it down in the description box below. If you want to have it to be over the top, I was told they grate these right here, right? So.
He uses 4 cans of San Marzano tomatoes? How much spaghetti is this motherfucker making?
I'll just hold it up, show it to you guys like that. these are the best ones you want to do if you're making spaghetti sauce, you know, from the very beginning, right? All right, so look, take a look. Whole tomatoes. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna cook these down. I usually cook these down for about 3 hours, right? So, and then I left it like this before I stir it up. You see that right there? That's the olive oil. Look at the color right there. That's the garlic, the fresh garlic we added to it, right? So we started with garlic infused olive oil, then we added some fresh to send it up over the top, right? Not that it wasn't over the top already, but look at the color right there. Was it green? What was that?
Again, I'll try anything once.
That was that bell pepper. So listen, I just wanted to keep it separated like that so you guys can see and just think about all of that goodness inside of this, right? So we got the rest to add. Our red chili flakes, basil, and then right here we go with a little oregano. And then last, you see this? Just the tomato paste. I like what this does as far as color and the flavor that it adds. Now, we just go ahead and start mixing this up. Now I'm gonna look at my fire, right? This is a big pot. We don't want to burn nothing, right? But we want to get everything incorporated. Ooh, man. Can you see how it's going? Now look, the longevity, because we're gonna cook these down where they get soft. And then what we want these to do is just to dissolve. So it takes about 3 hours, right? Okay, so look, it's been 2 hours, right? I'm gonna go ahead and take this top off. Ah, yeah, that's what we wanna see right there. That right there is real nice. Let's just smooth this. I like to hit the bottom.
Oh,
look, there's nothing on the
you're
bottom,
on
nothing
Jake's
sticking. Listen, as long as you're not using that high heat, it's good. You can look right there. But I want you to take a look at the tomatoes.
The masks were fucking useless.
Look, they're starting to just like break down. Now I told you I'd like to do these for like at least 3 hours. The longer the better, but 3 hours will get you in the game. Now I'm gonna lift this up. Let me just.
I'm probably not going to watch the Republican debates just because of one simple thing. Trump's the nominee, whether you like it or not.
Do it like this so you can just see how soft that is right there. You know what I mean? Hey, look at that right there. Ooh wee. See that bell pepper and all of that on there? This is what you want. And you can see, look how delicate it is. 1 more hour and this will be right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my top back on. We're gonna go for 1 more hour and then we're gonna start getting our, you know, our meat together.
Yeah, I may cover it tomorrow. Although I do have another video of Jake.
Okay, folks, so look.
tonight.
Now I done brought this back over here. Look, we've been going 3 hours. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show it to you, right? Let me just go ahead. And I'm gonna use this right now just to show you.
Screw it.
After 3 hours, you know, I like to run the square edge wooden spoon right under the bottom like this, right? Just to ensure nothing, you know, stick. Now we'll just start adding this here. Look at this right here. And that's up to you guys.
But you can't get San Marzano tomatoes that are crushed. Just put them in your blender and blend them for 20 seconds.
I like a meaty sauce. This step right here could have been completely, you know, skipped if you didn't want to have no meat. Okay, so look, it's cooled down a little bit. Notice I got my...
I've had a Cuban sandwich. I have never made a Cuban sandwich. Because, again, I didn't do a whole lot of baking. But I really, really gotta pee. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
myself a towel, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna put this, you know, like this so that I don't burn my hand, right? So look, get yourself a ladle, you know what I mean? Don't fill it up like I was about to do. Just set it here. It might get a little messy. It depends on how your pouring skills are. You know what I mean? As you can see, mine ain't the best.
I would never. What? Okay, so he's making a bunch of it? But you need 2 standard jars of sauce to fucking. Oh, whatever.
But look, I just put it in here just like you see. Okay, so if we put it down like right here, it is hot. Now, I just take my top, which got the little dimple right there, and while it's on here, I just stick it on here like this. And while it stays hot, you just put this on here. I know I'm preaching to the choir, I know you guys know it, but this is for all my new people to just, you know, some of us don't know. And look, right now it's like this. As I let this sit, it's gonna suck this in and suck it all the way down, and then it's gonna form a nice tight.
You know, you do have to put that in a boil bath. Now, it depends on how quick you want to use it, but yeah, you have to put it in a boil bath.
Tight seal. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and fill up a few more of these jars. You know what I mean? Then I'm gonna leave enough for the pasta that I have made, and then we're gonna get down. We're gonna cook that, you know, with the pasta just for about another 30 minutes.
Again, if you want to use it within like a month or something, that's fine. You know, leave it on the counter overnight and just put it in the fridge and have it sealed like that. But you have to put it in a boil bath. It's been exposed to bacteria. And then you put it in hot. Your tomato sauce is... Well, let's just say if this guy put this on his grandma's canning shelf, it would be a fucking explosive bacteria bomb. Again, if he's planning to use it in short order, about a month, probably be fine. But yeah, if this is gonna be on the shelf for 6 months, then no. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what's perplexing me. I wouldn't go to this trouble of canning my sauce if I was just going to use it in a couple of days.
Okay, so now for the best part.
Like, I've done making the sauce and the pasta a day apart. But yeah, I just did a nice soft cover on my sauce and let all the shit come together.
Listen, we finna introduce, you know, our noodles, right? Noodles, pasta, whatever you guys want to call it, strings, but this that angel hair, folks. This is what you...
Oh, God. Not... Look, I like this guy too, but I don't get his logic here. Angel hair is better for oil-based sauces. Again, most of what Italy is. Angel hair and tomato sauce, you end up with, well, clumps of crap.
You want. For me, you know what I mean? I got it. Some people don't like to do the angel hair. I done heard it all. You know what I mean? It doesn't make a difference. Man, you can use any type of pasta noodle, swirls, shells. It doesn't make a difference. But this right here keep you a little bit more authentic, you know? Okay, so look, now.
again, angel hair doesn't really work for this type of pasta. If it was oil-based, it would work. Like, aglio e olio would work with angel hair pasta, but then again, it's oil. Whatever.
Now's the moment of truth. Listen, I done cooked this down for about 45 minutes. Just let it sit in there. Listen, spaghetti to me.
Look, this is why angel hair pasta got popular. Is a bunch of fucking goddamn drunken housewives thought that somehow because angel hair is smaller, it's healthier than spaghetti.
Is always better the next day.
When in reality, pasta's pasta. It's made from the same fucking dough. Whether it's fettuccine, whether it's angel hair, whether it's penne, mac, rotini, rotelli, what the fuck ever. It's all the same goddamn thing. It's all made from the same fucking dough.
Day, right? So listen, if you make this like on a Saturday morning or something like that, it depends on when you make it. You know what, you can let it sit up. The longer it sits up, the longer that pasta noodle, that spaghetti absorbs the sauce, right? So listen, I'm not gonna go ahead and take none, put none on the plate right now because I'm gonna let it sit up, but I'm gonna go ahead and get me some, all right? So check it out. Gotta get some of this sauce too. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna get down the way. You know what? Just my mama was teaching me how to like be bougie. You know what I mean? You can see like it's not really cooked on there like I would like it to be. You know what I mean? Because you gotta like let it sit up and cool, right? But this right here is good. You know what? But I'm gonna go in here and get some of that because I gotta have some of that meat too. Hey, so check this out.
Look, I like you, but just pick the fucking spaghetti. It's the same goddamn dough run through a different dye.
Hey, when I tell you it's good, it's good. And I just happen to like spaghetti. Hey, listen, I love spaghetti. Grew up on it. So look, I put the top on here because listen, I had to wait a minute.
2. I was 2 years old when I moved to Minnesota. I have no memory of Iowa, at least living there.
I had to go ahead and get myself a little bowl, get me a little bit. But what I'm doing now is I'm finna let it sit up for a little while, let it just,
no, I don't do that. A lot of people do put the sauce on top of spaghetti. I don't. I put the spaghetti in the sauce like every other pasta.
Let the pasta absorb that, that spaghetti sauce. Because listen, we did a lot of work to get a lot of flavor. Hey, you guys just got to trust the process. And then look, then you can see these. Man, you do this a couple of times. Actually, I make my spaghetti sauce before I even make the spaghetti because I like to do this work and then put it up and have it ready. So when I'm ready to make it, bam, it's nothing but a heat up and go. Hey, with that being said, I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section below.
Yeah, but we didn't even see you sterilizing the jars, sterilizing the lids, sterilizing. Again, if you're going to do this and put this in the fridge, you got about a month. And with pasta, that's perfectly acceptable, but you have to use that sauce pretty fucking quick. Otherwise, things will start to grow.
Answer all the questions
Quickly.
that I asked, but I really want to know how you guys like yours. Whether you like yours pasta and sauce on that, then on your plate, or would you like yours the same way I like mine?
The Maid-Rites I grew up with were not Maid-Rites. They were closer to Sloppy Joes. I have never really had a true blue Maid-Rite. Because, again, it's just unseasoned ground beef and onions. I'm not a big fan of them.
Put the pasta inside of your sauce, cook it all together, and then let it sit up and then eat it that way. Hey, so with that being said, let me just take this time to say,
I like Sloppy Joes, though.
Hey, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget
Thin cutlets, flour dredged, egg dipped, served with a garlicky, lemony, buttery wine sauce. It's a classic, it's delicious, it's easy, and we have not made that on the channel yet, so let's just jump right into it. First up, some garlic. For this preparation, I like a sort of garlic minced paste, and let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna cut the garlic cloves in half and smash them to remove the papers. Then chop until they're the size of a small dice. Add some coarse salt to it. This is gonna act as an abrasive to further break the garlic down. And with my knife laying flat on the board and the blade facing the garlic, using the blade to start to almost chomp away at the garlic. And that salt not only helps break down the garlic, but this is just me controlling the flavor I want out of it. I find this tames the pungency of the garlic, but still gives me a lot of garlic flavor, and it's that good garlic flavor. Use your free hand as leverage to work the garlic until it feels like a paste, but the garlic remains in these small dice. Then place that.
Oh, Jesus, Jake's going after a no-fap video. Well, of course you would, Jake, because, you know, that's your only thing to get over the fact that Sarah's fucking Tyrone.
Into a bowl and set aside. Next, roll up a small bundle of fresh Italian parsley, slice it as finely as you can in an initial once through, and then chop it in every direction until it's processed into a fine mince. Then get that into a bowl and set it aside. Next, we're gonna need 1 lemon. Half the lemon, I'm gonna slice into thin rounds, then remove the seeds in those rounds. Then I'm gonna save the other half for its juice. Now, the history books say that Italian immigrants in America who migrated to Rochester were responsible for this dish becoming a popular Italian-American dish in that area. But in Italy, there is a preparation called indorato, which translates to encased in gold. And this is a recipe with chicken encased in egg. And in my opinion, every Italian-American dish has some tie to some immigrant who brought a dish here from homeland. So the history is all fuzzy. But this is a Franchese dish inspired by something French. So to thicken this dish, we're gonna use a beurre mané, which translates to kneaded butter, where we take softened butter, knead it into flour, and that is gonna be the thickening agent to our sauce. So I have a tablespoon of flour here. I'm gonna take about a tablespoon of butter, go right into the flour with it, and I will use a little spatula and just sort of knead the butter and the flour together. Work the room temp butter into the flour until you can't really tell that there was ever flour in there to begin with. Then I'll place that back into the fridge until I'm ready to use it. Now we know all about the 3-stage breading station: flour, egg, breadcrumbs. Today we're only gonna do 2: flour and egg. Season the flour and the egg, and then add a little bit of Italian oregano. I got some Calabrian oregano here, a little bit to the flour, a little bit to the egg. Then beat those eggs, mix up that flour, and then get a cutting board set up and we can slice the chicken. With a thin boning knife, bring the chicken close to you, and starting at the thicker side of the fillet, carefully shave a thin slice of chicken as thin as possible, making your way.
What the hell was that thing on his face?
From the top of the chicken to the bottom. Right into
Oh, a camera
First
holder.
up, some garlic.
Son
For
of
this
a bitch.
Just go through slicing the rest of the chicken, and when you're done, lay the pieces out on the board and season them on both sides with a little bit of salt. Now get the flour and the egg set up. First, dredge the chicken into the flour until it's fully coated. Then you want to shake off the excess, then drop that into the egg and make sure it gets...
Again, Jake, do you jack off when Sarah's fucking another dude in your bedroom? Or do you just, like, I don't know, watch some Star Trek TNG or something?
well coated in that egg. Repeat with the rest of the chicken, and we can just hold the cutlets in the egg until we're ready to cook. And once they're all hanging in the egg, I just give them a nice flip, make sure they're all kind of soaked and coated well in that egg mixture. Now the last two ingredients we're gonna need is some wine and some chicken stock. Now I usually have some frozen chicken stock.
What the hell? Oh shit, you're on the East Coast.
In the freezer, but it's the end of August, and I'm just in that in-between period where all my stock is done, and it's not the fall yet when I usually make more. So when that happens, I usually go to the store and I find this
It wouldn't shock me if that's what he does.
guys. This guy's sold in the freezer section. It is closest to what I would make here at home, and it's a really good quality. It's a little bit more expensive, but that's what you get when you pay for a good product. The box is not gonna give you the same quality. So I'm gonna need about 2 cups of this, but I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. If I need to adjust it in any way, I'm gonna have extra stock on hand. And that's it, let's get cooking. In a high-rimmed saute pan, add enough olive oil to coat the bottom of the pan, and then get it hot. And once hot, add the chicken, about 3 at a time. Cook it hard and fast on that one side. And as you cook, you can see this thin piece of chicken cooking in real time. So I'm looking around the edges to check for browning. And once the chicken is nicely browned on that bottom side, and it looks like the chicken is about 60% cooked, give them a flip, allow them to kiss the other side with the heat. But we don't want to fully cook them. We want them about 85 to 90% cooked. We'll finish cooking them later. Remove them from the pan, cook up the rest of the chicken. And this time I'm going to rotate them while they're cooking. This tends to help them brown a little bit better. Then transfer it to the plate and set off to the side. Now drain that oil to prepare the pan for the sauce, but I can feel my pan is overheated, so I'm gonna let it cool before I continue with the sauce. Once cooled, I'll add a small amount of oil and then the garlic, and I'm gonna cook that on medium-high until the garlic is nicely browned. Once it's browned and it's nicely fragrant, turn the heat off and then deglaze the pan with some white wine. And I'm always a little heavy-handed when I cook with wine, but I'm also going to make sure I reduce it really well. So get it back on the heat and let it go. And I'm looking for the wine to start showing lots of little bubbles.
Honestly, you got to be really heavy-handed to go over with wine with the deglazing liquid, because it picks up so much fucking flavor.
As it reduces. This is telling me it's reduced enough, so now I can add about 3 cups of the chicken broth. And again, bring that up to a simmer and allow that sauce to reduce, but not all the way. Maybe about halfway, just until the sauce starts to form a tiny bit of structure, which I can sort of gauge by the way it moves when I swirl the sauce in the pan. Once I think it's reduced enough, I'm going to add in the lemon slices. Then I'm going to juice.
Do you really think this guy is that pissed off with somebody saying men shouldn't jerk off? By the way, I disagree with that. Do you really think Jake is that pissed off with it? Because in reality, that's literally what Sarah's reduced him to, just jerking off while she fucks real men. It's just not for nothing. Or at least fuck some chads. Because, I mean, we were all here when Jake admitted that him and Sarah have a fucking open relationship and she fucks other dudes. Which is a huge no-no for anyone who's male.
In that half of lemon through a strainer to catch the seeds. I'm going to season with a little bit of salt. And then I'm going to grab the kneaded butter.
Because he's live right now. And I'm watching him.
Out of the refrigerator, and then I'm gonna toss that into the sauce and start working it in slowly. With this French
I know you're on both channels, Iron Gullet. Why don't you tell your little master that I'm talking about him?
technique of kneading the flour and butter together allows is for that flour to slowly incorporate
I'm
into
not
the
gonna
sauce
talk to
so that
him,
it thickens
but
it without the
fuck it.
formation of lumps. And once it's all melted, you'll need to bring that mixture back up to a boil to activate the thickening power, and you'll see it thicken in real time. We can add the chicken back to the pan with all of its cooking juices, and then we're going to let that finish cooking. This is going to ensure that the chicken isn't overcooked despite how thin it is. On the contrary, it's actually going to be tender and juicy. And you're just going to let that sauce cook for about 2 to 3 minutes with the chicken in it until it becomes nice and thick. Now we can check the consistency. It should hold the back of a spoon at the very least, but you can go thicker if you'd like. Then we want to give it a taste. It should be balanced, but it needs salt. If the sauce is too lemony, add more butter to balance it out. If the sauce is too thick, you can add a little bit more stock to thin it out. And if you like the sauce a little bit more zingy, more lemony, use less butter. And then finish with some fresh parsley. Now to serve it, I shingle the chicken
Or just add some goddamn extra lemon zest.
around the center of a plate. Then place the lemon wedges on top so you can identify the dish visually. Then you want to go to town on that sauce. I got some nice bread to clean up this plate, so I'm going to want enough sauce for the chicken and the bread. and there you have the perfect classic chicken franchise. The chicken should be tender, velvety almost. The sauce is balanced. It's lemony, but it's not punching you in the face because the butter mellows it out. It's nicely garlicky. And if you don't have bread to sop up that sauce, you're missing out the best part. A true classic through and through. Recipe's gonna be down in the description.
Who are you talking about, Lily Loves? Me? I have friends. Alright, let's go with the greatest penne vodka that has ever been made. The greatest of all time. No, I just said Iron Gullet. I'm not going to talk to him tonight. So whether he brings me up or not is irrelevant. If he does, I'll respond to him in real time. But outside of that, no, I have no desire to talk to him. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on what he's talking about. Although it's funny, once I said that I was keeping an eye on his show, half his chat went, "Oh, Dave is here. Dave's watching you." Again, proving that you are way more obsessed with me than I am with you. If Jake starts talking about me right now, outside of you, Iron Gullet, or any other Jake sycophants, none of my crew will let me know. Because, you know, we actually have lives.
Today we're making penne alla vodka, one of the most requested dishes. I really wanted to make sure I had nailed this recipe. I've worked hard on it, and
yeah, he's done some anti-jerk-off video. Again, I disagree with the no nut guys. I think it's ridiculous. But at the same point, he's also the same guy that lets his girl fuck other dudes. He's also the same guy that didn't get pissed off with me when I called his girl a whore. I said that deliberately. I wanted to make him mad. There is not a woman I know. Seriously, there is not a woman I know that I care about that if I called her a whore, I would not be getting a receipt from. And this includes my own sister and mother. If I call my mom a whore, my dad is giving me a fucking receipt. If I called my sister-in-law a whore, my brother is giving me a fucking receipt, even though this woman has known me since I was fucking 1, I think. I call my sister a whore. I'm pretty sure my brother-in-law is going to give me a receipt. But if not, then my dad will. You know, there are females that care about my life. Even if they're non-sexual. You call him a whore, you're getting a fucking receipt from my ass. Boyfriends, girlfriends, don't matter. You're getting it from my end. He didn't care. And to me, a guy that will take that, his girl absolutely does not respect him. She walks all fucking over him. And he's going to end up miserable. And probably broke. And if you have a kid with her, get a fucking paternity test.
Okay. One of the most requested dishes. I really wanted to make sure I had nailed this recipe. I've worked hard on it, and I think I got it. There's this vision I have in my head of it that reminds me of my childhood. Places that used to make this really, really well. I haven't really had it anywhere recently.
I've never had that problem because I've always either A, found an excuse to pull out before that, or B, I've took a bit of advice from Ron Jeremy and started thinking about sports. You know, it's all men, so there's no sexual stimulation there.
Recently that's sort of blown my mind. So just like I do with any recipe I make, the goal is to create the version in my head, this really classic nostalgic version, and do it as perfect as I can. When I was a kid, I remember having it with a little bit of prosciutto, some slices of prosciutto cut up in there. So I've got some prosciutto here. I've got some vodka. I'm gonna use a little bit of vodka. It's interesting, vodka is pretty...
Assuming you're not lying, Lily, nobody says women are property. But paternity can be faked. Maternity cannot. And yeah, women expect men to fight for them. You're really gonna be with a guy that will run away and just leave you high and dry? Really? The answer is no. And don't give me this, oh, I can beat a man. No, you fucking can't.
bland, right? So you're like, why do we even add this to this sauce? What is the point of it? But after doing some research, Harold McGee sort of summed it up. If you just add vodka to something, it's going to overpower it. It's not going to do anything delicious.
You cannot defend yourself. If you are, in fact, a woman and not just a fucking troll, you cannot defeat about 95% of the guys out there. You will get destroyed. Like it or not.
Delicious. But just like anything, when you reduce it down, it's actually going to enhance.
I have been able to bring a 6'5" woman to her knees because she thought she could actually take me. And because her reflexes were way slower than mine, I was able to zip around back of her, get up on her, put her in a chokehold, and it was over. Maybe a guy that's untrained, that doesn't know how to fight, you might have a chance against. But no. Any guy that knows how to handle himself, you're fucked. Men have way too many advantages. She said I couldn't choke her out. I proved her wrong.
Flavors that weren't there.
I didn't attack her. This was an honorable contest.
So now we got nice tomato puree. Puree my tomatoes first.
Okay, I just used the goddamn blender, but you do you, boy.
So now we got nice tomato puree as our base. See how watery it is? We're gonna reduce all that down.
Well, she wasn't. If she was, you might have fucked her.
3 or 4 cloves of garlic. I'm just gonna slice them super thin like I do for all
She was kind of overweight, so...
my pastas, really. A lot of you ask how I get my Parmesan cheese like into that powdered dust. So what you do is take a box.
What did I say that was wrong? Iron. Again, there are women that like being choked. There are women that are like being spanked. There are women that like being utterly dominated, having rough sex. Hell, there are women that like being a little girl while their daddy fucks them.
Box grater in these holes right here.
But then again, what the fuck do I expect? You're from the same crew that fucking thinks I got abused by my mom and my dad because they slapped me.
For these holes, these are bigger, these are smaller. You can just go in and you grate it. See? And also you gotta be careful, especially if you're making cacio e pepe, you can't have a little piece like that fall in there. You've really gotta work your way through and make sure it's just all dust. So here we are, I got my penne. I'm gonna make 1 portion of pasta and I'm gonna keep the rest of the sauce. I hate eating leftover cooked pasta. So if I'm gonna make this again, I'm gonna make cooked fresh pasta with it. But this should be enough sauce for 4 people. If you're making it for 4 people and you want extra sauce, then I would just buy an extra can of tomatoes. And then you're just gonna reduce that the same way. It's the same method, you're just reducing that.
Jake isn't kinkier than I am. Maybe he is. I don't know. I don't know what Jake's into, nor do I care. Jake is way more cuckier than I am. Because there is no way in hell a woman that's with me is sleeping with another dude. Not a chance in hell. Now, I'd like to point out, I am still free to sleep with other women. And if you want to call that a double standard, fine. I don't give a shit. But no, she's not free to sleep with anyone else but me, who's male. Another girlfriend, another girl. Maybe we can talk. But no, if she wants to be with me, then I'm the only dick.
Down more tomatoes, it's gonna create more sauce in the end. And that's probably what I would suggest. The sauce becomes really good, so you're gonna want plenty of it. First, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a sauce in one.
Surely you're only ever hypothetically into spanking Sarah's literally collared. Alright, I don't know a great amount about BDSM culture, but the fact that she wears a collar doesn't mean shit. She can just wear it as a necklace. And as for me being into spanking, well, I'm fine with being the spankor. I am never the spankee.
One pan. It's gonna be a little bit of olive oil and the prosciutto first. We're gonna get that till it starts to go from like a light pale color to a darker color. We don't want to get it like super crispy, but we want it to sort of brown a little bit and render out all of its fat. Then we're gonna add the garlic and...
Well, let's see. What it would take to be a male dom in Jake's feminist bullshit world. You'd have to provide everything for the woman, which used to be the norm. And she used to have to obey your commands, which again used to be the norm. So it just means returning to about 1955.
And the basil. Oh, for Christ's sake. Getting milk everywhere. So then we're going to add the garlic and the...
Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. You gotta be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. They're shooting sex scenes together? Is actual Jake shooting sex scenes with her on camera? You've got to be fucking kidding me on this. Because if he does, it's even worse. If he does, that's even worse. Oh my god, they have a fucking OnlyFans together. Oh my fucking god, and he put a ring on the cunt. Jesus, tap dancing Christ in heaven. I weep for the future generations of men. I really do. I weep. Jesus fucking Christ. They seriously have a goddamn OnlyFans. Because look, her bringing him a soda, that isn't Dom sub. That's just her being nice. That's just her being a girlfriend. Anything I've seen of Jake and his interactions with her has always been nice. Oh my god, are you fucking serious? Oh god, no wonder she doesn't care if I call her a whore. Oh god, hell, I probably gave her jerk-off material that night. Big evil me called her a whore. But Jake isn't a dominant male. Jake is not a dom. Jake is very bitch-like and submissive. That's why I thought Sarah was the dom in the relationship, if what I'm being told is true. From the chat. So, who's the alpha in all this? Jake, do you have a boyfriend? Well, it's cool if you do. I don't care. Jake, you're not controlling this. Again, if Sarah's the sub, you're not the dom. There's somebody else. It might be another woman. It might be a woman. And I guess that's fine. I guess that doesn't make Jake gay, but... He's not watching, he's a demonstrate. Well, let me tell you something, Shining Reaper, whatever the hell your name is. Jake has begged for my attention on 3 occasions. Okay, I've never sought a debate with Jake out, and I've had 3 with him. Jake is a beta. Now, you're right. I'm not an alpha either. I'm sigma. But Jake is not an alpha. Again, if he had any self-respect at all, any self-respect at all, he would have cut me off after I called the woman he's going to marry a whore. And he didn't. I don't care about his popularity. I don't care about that. I could care less. And if I really wanted on his popular channel, why the fuck ain't I bitching and complaining to get on there? Why ain't I begging him to let me on? And also, why is it I seem to dictate the terms of our engagements? I always do. Jake's a beta. Or a gamma, I don't know which. I did not demand him be here last week, and if I did, it was a joke. No, I have never once demanded Jake be here. Nor have I cared. Really? I got embarrassed and struggled not to cry. Did I? I think you're full of shit, my friend.
Basil. Get that basil and garlic flavor into...
Look, I don't give a fuck. In truth, I don't give a shit if Sarah likes wearing a dog collar and being led around by a leash by Jake. I don't care if she wants her best friend Jenny to join her in it. I guess what I care about is the simple fact that a member of my gender is committing one of the biggest no-nos on the planet and is trying to justify it. Men can have multiple women. Women cannot have multiple men.
To the oil. Once that garlic and basil and prosciutto have sort of cooked and infused that oil, then we're gonna deglaze it with a little bit of vodka. Maybe like a 3-second pour, 1, 2, 3.
A permanent collar. It's not permanent. It can be taken off.
Make sure you turn the flame on the stove off before you do that. This is highly flammable. It'll spritz up as it hits the pan and flare up. And you don't want that in your kitchen. Turn the heat off, pour it in, let it settle, put the heat back on, and then reduce it. Then we're gonna add the tomatoes, reduce that all the way down until it's very thick. You can sort of...
One, there is no way Jake would have ever put a collar on her. He's too much of a bitch. Some other male did. Two, there is no such thing as a permanent collar. You can cut it off. And three, I've seen her collar. It's a dog collar.
Scrape and see the bottom of the pan. Then we're gonna rehydrate and finish it all with the cream and a little bit of butter. Super easy, super delicious. If you nail this, it's gonna be your new favorite recipe. I'm calling it right now. So let's just get right into it.
Yeah, except when Sarah leaves him for the other guy she's fucking, the actual alpha she's fucking. Jake is way too bitch-like to do a move like that. Not a goddamn chance. Again, Jake cannot wrap his head around somebody like me. Because again, I'm alpha, sigma, whatever. I have no problem telling a bitch, no, you're not going to do that. You're telling me that with the audience that Jake has, he generates enough revenue to not only support himself, but Sarah's just walking around naked with a collar on her throat. Get the fuck out of here. There is no way he makes that amount of money. With the amount of time Jake streams, there is no way that motherfucker makes that amount of money. Not a goddamn chance. Because, again, right now, he's live. He has 174 people watching him. That ain't enough. Not with Twitch's cut. And that's the biggest audience he has. Unless... And also, wait, actually, let's go back a second. Wait a second. Jake told me himself they have an open relationship. He can fuck who he wants to fuck outside of the relationship. She can fuck who she wants to fuck outside of the relationship. If that's true and she is his sub, then she wouldn't fuck anyone but him. Also, you literally just said she has a job outside the home. Well, that means that she's outside the home with other people. Meaning she's fucking the Tyrone of her job. And I don't know too many businesses that would let her wear a dog collar. So then either he inherited his house or he's living with his mother. There's no way anybody has a set of bills that low and also has a mortgage. Or, yeah, Sarah's parents. Oh, he just bought it. Well, let's see. Even if Jake's house is a townhouse, that's probably in a moderately priced area, 400 to 600 grand. There's no way Jake makes that amount of money just from streaming. So he inherited some money. Jake did not buy that house. I know what it takes to buy a house, because I did. Oh, so he's got a mortgage. Okay. Then there's no way his bills are $1,500 to $1,600 a month. There is just no fucking way. Even if he doesn't have a credit card, there is no goddamn way. Trust me, I put myself on the 15-year plan for a reason. Now, you're right. Michigan is not the most appealing state to live in. But I guarantee you that it was probably $1,000 a month for a mortgage. Well, good. He's smart. There's no way. There's just no fucking way. Your guys' numbers don't add up. Again, every place is different, and that's fine. But let's be 100 here. All the other bills you have to pay, there is no way you're getting off with $1,500 a month. Maybe, just maybe, if it was the 80s, you'd get away with it. But not in this day and age. And I'm sorry, but yeah, I would say he lives either A, with his parents, or B, because I'm just running through in my mind, because when you own a home, it ain't like owning an apartment, it's just rent. I mean, you got water, you got heat, you got gas, you got fucking the utilities, you got fucking goddamn garbage pickup, and you've got the property taxes and all this other shit. And all the other ancillary bills like Netflix streaming and the internet and yada, yada, yada. Do you guys want me to switch it over to the Republican debate? I know it's on my cooking channel, but do I have cable? No. As a matter of fact, no. I am, again, CenturyLink is... Yeah, the only one, but they're starting to jack up their prices, so... Alright, it was 2-1. Fuck it. Although I have to fucking pee again.
All right, Fox's Mills Hayes there.
Alright, I thought they were going to have the Republican primary debate.
Biden, we've seen the exact opposite. We've seen inflation explode, which led to 12
Yeah, because the economy
Federal
recovered
Reserve
after
increases.
a massive
That's
downturn.
devastating home buyers today.
People jacked up
Mr.
prices.
Ramaswamy, you're listening to these answers.
If I may,
Now, hold
that
on one
was our
second. We're going
administration,
to.
so I don't know if I get a
He
chance
didn't,
to respond.
he didn't mention you specifically, but
Oh,
we'll
you're
give you
here.
a second, Mr. Vice President.
God, I gotta
Mr.
pee. I'll
Ramaswamy,
be right back.
listening to all of this, why should voters choose you over more experienced politicians on this stage? You're basically, a blank slate for people. You're 38 years old. You've said that you only voted in 2 presidential elections before this moment, this political race.
So first, let me just address a question that is on everybody's mind at home tonight. Who
What?
the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage?
Bro, you asked a
I'll tell you,
question.
I'm not a politician, Brett. You're right about that. I'm an entrepreneur. My parents came to this country with no money 40 years ago. I have gone on to found multi-billion-dollar companies. I did it while marrying my wife, Apoorva, raising our 2 sons, following our faith in God. That is the
Getting a
American
Soros
dream.
scholarship.
And I am genuinely worried that that American dream will not exist for our 2 sons and their generation unless we do something about it. And I do think Brett is going to take an outsider, because for a long time we have professional politicians in the Republican Party who have been running from something. Now is our moment to
Something.
start
Like a
running
Soros scholarship.
to something, to our vision of what it means to be an American today.
Oh.
If you have a broken car, you don't turn over the keys to the people who broke it again. You hand it over to a new generation to actually fix the problem.
Yeah, just anybody.
That's why I'm in this race, and we're just getting warmed up.
Do they all have red ties on? All of them?
Oh, yeah.
To turn around this economy that we've heard
Is that
all
Nikki?
of these voters talking about tonight.
Hey.
Then Mr. Ramaswamy, who is a successful entrepreneur nationally right now, he's beating you in the polls.
Hedge fund
Well,
freak.
I don't care about polls.
Farmer
What I care
gouger.
about the fact is that no one is telling the American people the truth. The truth is that Biden didn't do this to us. Our Republicans did this to us too. When they passed that $2.2 trillion COVID stimulus bill,
Rhinos.
they left us with 90 million people on Medicaid, 42 million people on food stamps. No one has told you how to fix
Yeah, there's a
it.
massive
That rocks.
depression.
That
There's a
rocks.
massive
They
depression
need to stop the
in a
spending. They
pandemic.
need to stop the borrowing. They need to eliminate the earmarks that the Republicans brought back in, and they need to make sure they understand these are taxpayer dollars. It's not their dollars. And while they're all
Raise
saying
taxes.
this,
Rescue
you have
releasing
Ron
images
DeSantis, you've got Tim
of the
Scott,
man getting
you've got
help from
Mike Pence. They
paramedics
all
Did you say
voted
to
to run
Spanish?
the
On a
debt,
stretcher.
and Donald Trump
Very scary
added
situation
$8
there. It is
trillion
unclear, though.
to our debt. And our kids are never going to forgive us for this. And so at the end of the day, you look at the 2024 budget, Republicans asked for $7.
Oh yeah, we can't just shut up because that's the whole point of us being here, and how we get around like copyright strikes is by making this a commentary experience. So, folks, if you are in the chat wanting
Yeah,
a clean
well,
experience, I recommend going to
you're a beta soy
foxnews.com
boy cuck
and hitting the live
faggot
TV button.
who,
Well said.
You
Getting the
blame
fuck out of here.
administration spending for that increase. But as vice president, your administration spent more
I thought
than
that was a
any
helpful,
prior, $7.8 trillion
like,
added to
volume
the national
suggestion,
debt,
but-
$3.5 trillion of that before COVID.
You know.
So
Yeah,
does
you're
that mean
right.
that you're part of the spending problem?
Well, first off, thanks for the question. Thanks for letting me respond to a reference to our administration.
Actually, he's playing like John Adams in
I know.
Recreation.
The Trump-Pence administration.
But with a Bush voice.
I mean, in 4 short years, we rebuilt our military. We revived our economy. We unleashed American energy. And we appointed 3 conservatives to the Supreme Court that gave the American people a new beginning.
And God, if I could have overturned that election, I would have.
Right.
Martha, you asked earlier.
If he hadn't
who's
done the Supreme Court, I
most
probably would have
best
thought about it.
prepared for this job. And I must tell you, with all due respect to all of my friends on the stage, and even the one that's probably looking balanced budgets and had a AAA bond rating.
All right,
When I
I'm
was
gonna
governor,
switch over to David
and as Vice
Pakman
President of the
now.
United States, we spent funding to backfill on the military cuts of the Obama administration, and then we were there in the worst pandemic in 100 years. All that being said, I was the first person in this race to say that we've got to deal with the long-term national debt issues. You got people on this stage that won't even talk about issues like Social Security and Medicare. I mean, Vivek, you recently said a president can't do everything. Well, I got news for you, Vivek. I've been in the hallway. I've been in the West Wing. A president of the United States has to confront every crisis facing America.
No, screw it. Let's do actual Jake and his dog shit takes. Oh, come on, little beta bitch boy.
I exactly understood Mike Pence's comment, but I'll let you all parse that out. For me, it's pretty simple. That's something a U.S. president can do with focus, and I'll deliver on
Well,
it.
let me explain
This
it to
guy
you.
right
I'll explain
here.
it to you, Vivek, if I can.
That's
I'll go slower
corptocracy.
this time.
I sometimes struggle with the reading
Look,
comprehension.
I was a House conservative leader before it was cool. I actually pushed a Deficit Reduction Act. That was the last time we actually reduced the national debt in the United States when I
no
was the
applause.
leader of House conservatives. I balanced budgets and cut taxes when I was governor. I mean, look, Joe Biden has weakened this country at home and abroad. Now is not the time for on-the-job
no
training.
shit.
We don't need to bring in a
Oof.
rookie. We don't need to bring in people without experience.
He rehearsed that one.
It's 30 seconds when you have a rebuttal, okay? And you are up, Governor DeSantis.
So here's the thing. Why are we in this mess? Part of it, and a major reason, is because how this federal government handled COVID-19 by locking
Like a little
down
boy.
this economy. It was a mistake. It should have never
COVID?
happened. And in Florida, we led the country out of lockdown. We kept our state free and open. And I
Yeah,
can tell you
COVID
this,
was a
as
big
your
fucking
president,
mistake.
I will never let
You little
the deep
fucking
state
doughboy.
bureaucrats lock you down. You don't take somebody like Fauci and coddle him. You bring Fauci in, you sit him down,
I
and
don't
you
have
say,
Fauci.
Anthony, you are fired.
Oh, if it was
His
up to
little
me,
robot.
Fauci be in fucking
He
prison.
said his line, and now he's like,
I just want to
reset.
respond to Mike for 1 second because he invoked me back. Listen, now that everybody's gotten their memorized, pre-prepared slogans out of the way, we can actually have a real discussion now.
Fucking true, though.
The reality and the fact of the matter is...
Was that one of yours?
Not really, Mike, actually. We're just going to have some fun tonight. And the reality is,
Was that one
you
of
have
yours?
a bunch of people, professional politicians, super PAC puppets, following slogans handed over to them by their 400-page super PACs last week. The real choice we face in this primary is this. Do you want a super PAC puppet, or do you want a patriot who speaks the truth? Do you want incremental reform, which is what you're hearing about, or do you want revolution?
Okay.
And I stand on the side of the American revolution.
I've got to address
rather
the
than
COVID.
the incremental.
I don't think people are going to
We
like
need
that.
everyone to have a moment on the economy.
Yeah.
I think that's
If
fair.
Donald Trump goes down, I guarantee
The
you
room got
Vivek
quiet.
Ramaswamy probably
There are two
surges.
people who we have not heard from yet, so let's hear from Governor Burgum and then from Governor Hutchinson on the economy, sir.
Well, great. Thank you, Martha. And, of course, I'm from a town of 300 people.
Who the hell is that guy?
On the stage with all these folks. But when they were all wishing me well, and I think I took
You're
them a
the
little too
governor of
literally when
North
they said
Dakota,
go to
nobody
Milwaukee and break a
cares.
leg. So, but I do want to say on this, we're missing something. We can't just talk about the Biden economy because the
Florida's
economy,
third in most
energy,
lives
and
lost
national
during
security
COVID.
are
Not
all tied
surprised.
Together. Of course, we're paying too much for our energy in our state in our country right now. But part of the reason why is because of the Biden policies on energy. We've got a plan right now, the $1.2 trillion of Green New Deal spending buried in the
Spirit treads.
Inflation
Old
Creation Act
Scruffins. Thanks,
is
Paul.
something that is just
We have the
subsidizing
same
China.
placing
If we're
of
going
our
to stop buying
faces.
oil from the Middle East and start buying batteries from China, we're just trading OPEC for Sinopec. And then belatedly, the Biden administration says, no, we're going to put sanctions on Russian oil. Well, we put sanctions on Russian oil, well, then it's 20% off.
China,
Who's buying
you're
it?
right.
China. So if you buy
Russia.
a battery in this country, you buy a solar panel, it's being produced in a plant in China powered by coal, or it's being powered by oil and gas at 20% off. And every farmer in this country would like to buy diesel at 20% off, just like they're buying it in China.
Governor Hutchinson, quickly.
Big farmer guy.
Thank you, Grant. Delighted to be here tonight. And let me just tell
These guys
you
are
that
cucked by
I'm a
money, dude.
pro-life governor from a
left
conservative
is
state
pro-life.
that have a conservative record
Again,
in which
Bernie
I
is a
lowered taxes in
multimillionaire.
Arkansas as governor. I created a $2 billion surplus that I passed over to my successor.
Yeah, it sucks
and
that
I
Terry
made
Funk
sure
died
that we
tonight.
shrunk the size of government. We have 14%
Nah, he's
fewer
gone.
state employees in Arkansas.
He doesn't have it.
How
after I
hard
left
is
government
Jake gonna
than when I
cry
took over
when
as governor
Trump
8 years
wins?
ago? I tell that because that's what we need in Washington, D.C. We need somebody who can actually constrain the growth of the federal government, that can actually reduce the size, and I've pledged to reduce by
How about a
10%
leftist, huh? I'll
our
reduce the
federal
fucking government.
Defense workforce.
No,
That's
you
a
won't.
Give me a shot.
No, you fucking
Give me a
won't,
whack
you
at it.
fucking
I'll
idiot.
do some government
You'll
power.
fucking
Some of the
expand
business
it.
partners are here.
You're a
that have had
leftist.
success
You're a
in business.
socialist.
But let me tell you,
You
I've been a
jackass.
federal prosecutor. I've served our
Oh,
country
you've been a prosecutor?
in terms of being head of the DEA, in Homeland Security, in
fuck
times of
off.
crisis.
Disgusting.
And while I think that that's experience that is important for the future of our country, to be the President of the United States that can lead with positive solutions and be held accountable.
Thank you. We have a lot of topics to get to, and I promise we're going to get to everyone if we play within the rules. Okay, next topic. More than 1,000 people are still unaccounted for in Maui.
Please name me the
After
one
deadliest
leftist who wants
wildfire
to
in
actually
more than a
fucking
century. Hawaii's governor
Climate change?
and White House officials said that climate
decrease
change
the government.
amplified the cost of human error.
And a tropical storm hit California for the first time in 84 years.
Uh-oh.
The ocean hit 101
Reality
degrees
check?
off the coast of Florida.
Come on,
and in the
man.
last month, the heat wave in the Southwest
Please
broke
acknowledge
records
it.
Nearly 50 years old.
So
On Fox
Alexander
News.
Diaz from Young America's Foundation has a
Everyone
question
do
for
it.
you.
Polls consistently show that young people's #1 issue is climate change. How will you, as both President of the United States and leader of the Republican Party, calm their fears that the Republican
It
Party
doesn't
doesn't care about
exist.
climate change?
Can we address
So we want
it?
to start on this with a
It
show of
doesn't
hands.
fucking
Do
exist.
you believe
Fuck.
in
Huge.
human behavior is causing climate change? Raise your hand if you do.
Look, we're not school children. Let's have the debate. I mean, I'm happy
Oh
to
my
take it
God.
to start. Alexander?
So do you want to raise your hand or not?
None of them?
That's the way to do. So let me just say to Alexander this.
They
First
can't.
of all,
Except,
Pussies.
one of the reasons our
except
country's
Jake,
decline is
you
because of the way
fucking
the
little
corporate
leftist
media
jackass.
treats
Fucking
Republicans versus
spineless.
Democrats. Biden was on
If
the
it
beach
is
while those
caused
people
by
were
humans,
suffering.
we're
He was
fucked.
asked about it. He said no
Because
comment.
China
Are you
costs
kidding
up
me?
3
As somebody
times
that's
what
handled
we
disasters
do.
in Florida, you got to be.
And
God, I
they're
hope you
not
handled it.
stopping,
You gotta be
and
there.
your
You
little
gotta be helping
pussy
people.
ass
Gets
isn't telling them to stop.
All right, smoke check.
Is that a yes or is that a yes? Is that a hand raise?
So fuck
I
off.
think it was a hand raise for him, and it's my hands are in my pockets.
No,
because
no,
the
I
climate
didn't
change
raise-
agenda
I didn't
is a
raise a
hoax. Let us be honest.
Again,
as Republicans.
Jake.
I'm the only person on the stage who isn't
Climate
bought and
change
paid
is a
for, so I
hoax.
can say
Jake,
this.
Jake.
The climate change agenda is a hoax.
You're not going to do anything to stop China. So we're India.
He's gonna plummet.
And
Plummet.
they're
Hoax.
number one and they're number two. So shut the fuck up.
And so
Guns.
the reality is, more people are dying of bad climate
Guns
change
away.
policies
Let's go.
than they are of actual climate
Governor
change.
Haley, are you
The
bought and
death
paid
rate
for?
is down by
Hold on,
98% in the last century.
Listen. Wait, hold on.
I've had enough. I've had enough already tonight.
Wow.
Of a guy who sounds like ChatGPT standing up here.
I don't know who that is.
And the last person in one of these debates, Brett, who stood in the middle of the stage and said, What's a skinny guy with an odd last name doing up here? Was Barack Obama, and I'm afraid we're dealing with the same type of amateur standing in stage.
Chris Christie just called him Barack Obama to people? Oh my god. He won.
Well, he's darker.
Hold on. Governor Haley, would you like to respond? Are you bought and paid for?
That was just racism, by the way.
I think this is exactly why Margaret Thatcher said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman.
Oh, he said ChatGPT.
Bullshit. All right, this is where I'm going to end it. Good night, everybody.